What's going on, guys? JSkeleton here with a brand new video for you guys today. We are continuing the road to Black Ops 3. This is going to be episode, I think it's 6 we're at, right? Let me check here. Yes, we are at episode 6. And so far, we have covered how I got into COD, how I met my wife, how I got into video games, skate life, hockey, and the life of a Canadian, things like that. But with sports comes injuries, usually. So I'm going to talk about my worst injury ever. I'm actually going to tell you guys two different stories, and the funny thing is they're actually not related to sports, okay? I've had injuries in sports, but they haven't been the worst. Thankfully, I have not had some, too bad of injuries in my life. I've been fortunate enough in that sense that, I haven't had anything too crazy or anything like that. But, yeah, so I'm going to tell you guys two different stories in this video, which are probably my worst injuries. They're nothing too crazy, but they're still pretty, well, they were pretty intense at the time. And funny enough, they both happened when I was a little kid. So you'd think, I'd have the worst injuries as a teenager, especially a teenager who skateboards. But like I said, I always played skateboarding kind of cautious. So I guess maybe that's why I never got super badly injured. I've had, obviously minor things like, scraping, something or one time I was running and I tripped and I scraped my whole elbow like, man, it must have been, what, 4 to 6 inches long, and it was just, like, bleeding like crazy. But that's not my worst injury. I'm going to start with, I guess, the lesser of the two. And, yeah, so hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the series. But, like I said, they both happened when I was a kid. I'm not sure how old I was. I was pretty young for both. Obviously, before my teenage years, I would say both of them happened when I was under 10, to be honest. But one of them, I was being, a kid, and I was climbing around on the counters. My parents always told me not to climb on the counters. And it's something, for some reason, I always did. And it was one of those things that wouldn't sink into my head, man. They tell me over and over again, don't climb on the counters, don't climb on the counters, it's dangerous, it's, not just that, but, you could break the counters and ruin them too, right? And, I'd always climb on the kitchen counters and stuff. If I wanted to get something high, I'd climb up on the counter or whatever, and, get something, or, whatever. And, obviously it could be dangerous, even if it's not dangerous, you could break the counters or whatever. But one day, I was climbing around on the counters, and, like always, for some reason, it wasn't sinking in my head that I wasn't supposed to be doing that. I don't know why I was still doing it, but for some dumb reason, I was. And I was climbing on the counters, and I slipped, alright? And the first thing you're probably going to think is, like, maybe I twisted an ankle or something, I slipped off. But no, I slipped, and I'm not sure if I was standing or if I was on my knees. But I slipped and I smacked the bottom of my chin. You can't really see my chin because I got a big beard, and I'm all the way up here in the top right corner. But I smacked my chin, boom, super hard right on the counter, man. Like, it just, it connected like perfectly. It was just like a clap. And, yeah, so I slipped and smacked my chin, and, I don't know how bad it was. I can't remember, and I honestly don't remember the full outcome. I think, like, I was pretty young when this one happened, but I smacked my chin on the counter and I split my chin open, and I don't know if it was gushing blood. I do know I still have a scar from it though. If I didn't have a beard, I could probably show you guys right now that I still have a scar. It's not a crazy scar, it's probably just like an inch or inch and a half long on my chin, but it did scar me, so I must have hit it hard enough. I must have went to the hospital. I don't remember the outcome. I just remember smacking my chin hard on that counter, and it did not feel good. That's all I remember. I don't know. I don't think I lost consciousness or anything like that. I definitely don't think that. But I do know my chin was pretty gnarly, for lack of a better word, man. But then there was another time, okay? Again, I was a kid, probably a little bit older. And this one freaked my mom especially out like crazy. I think dads are always, more tough and calm. Moms are usually the ones that start, freaking out like crazy. They see blood in their child and they just go berserk, man. It's natural, right? So, my dad, I don't even know what it was. I honestly don't know what this, to this day, I don't remember what this thing was. I would have to ask him. I don't even know if he remembers what it was. But in the basement, you know, where I had my setup before this setup, actually, ironically, there was one side of the basement room where I had, well, not I had, my dad had shelving, okay? And on one of the shelves, he had this metal thing. I don't know what it was. It was like, it almost looked like the shape of a jar. At least in my memory, it did. I don't know, like, maybe I'm not remembering right. It was like the shape of a jar or something, and it was like solid metal. And for some weird, dumb reason, again, I don't have a clue what it was. It had a wire connected to it, and the wire was like hanging down, and it was like, you know, part of it was on the floor. And I think he had a couple of those or something. Anyways, so I go under, because I had a couple friends over, and I had like these plastic darts, and we were playing with them or something. I don't even know. But one of them was under the shelf, so I start climbing under the shelf to get one of my, you know, little plastic darts. It was like a green dart, and I'm surprised I actually remember all this. And like I said, the wire was kind of hanging on the ground, so I guess I didn't realize that I put my hand on the wire, and it pulled the wire, and this big metal thing. Again, I don't know what it was. It was like solid steel or something. It was crazy. It came falling right off the shelf, right on top of my head, and it hurt. Okay, but it was, like I said, this is like some solid metal thing. I don't know what it is, and it's driving me nuts. If I find out, I promise you guys, I will leave it in the comment section below. But this metal thing fell on my head, and it split my head open, man. Like you know, I don't know how bad it was. I just know I was bleeding like crazy, apparently. So I don't remember exactly what happened then. I don't know if my friends went up and told my parents or something. I can't remember. All I remember, the next thing I can remember is that I'm in my dad's truck, I think sitting in the middle of my dad and my mom, and my mom has this towel on my head, pressed on my head, freaking out because I was like, my head was like gushing blood or something. I don't know. I don't know if I got stitches or anything. I really don't know what happened. Maybe it wasn't even as bad as I'm remembering it. I don't know. But there was enough blood for my mom to have to, you know, put a towel on my head to stop the bleeding, because, you know, this big metal thing fell on my head, and I was a little kid, and, you know, obviously when you're a little kid, you have a more fragile head too, you know, and your scalp is kind of, I guess, more sensitive and soft. I don't know, man. But yeah, so it was pretty crazy. We obviously were going to the hospital. That's why we were in the truck. I forgot to mention that part. But yeah, so we were, you know, going to the hospital, and legit, that's all I remember. I don't even remember what happened to the hospital after that. I just remember, you know, having my mom put a towel on my head while my dad was driving us to the hospital. My dad was more calm. I'm pretty sure inside he was kind of maybe, you know, concerned, or like obviously concerned. But he, you know, I think, like I said, I think mothers kind of tend to, you know, see things worse than they are sometimes, you know, in these kind of situations. But like I said, it was pretty bad, you know. It hurt, and my head was bleeding. Like, yeah, so I don't know. That's all I can remember. So maybe you know, maybe those injuries aren't super bad. You know, maybe they're not crazy stories, but hopefully you guys still found them interesting to some extent. You know, I haven't had, like I said, I haven't had any crazy injuries, but I figured those two stories were interesting enough to make a video on. So, I mean, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think about those stories, and let me know what your worst injury is in the comment section below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and you guys have been enjoying the road to Black Ops 3, as I've been telling you guys different stories about myself, helping you guys get to know me a little bit better as we approach Black Ops 3. We are one day closer, boys. Get hyped. It is very, very close. I cannot wait. I got a few more episodes, obviously, for you guys. This is, what, episode 6? We're only halfway through. So yeah, hopefully you guys continue to watch this series. And again, if you did enjoy it, please smack the like button, subscribe, like, comment, share all the awesome stuff. I will catch you guys in the next video, and like always, until then, game on. Darkness taking over you.